I think it's because people look at it more as an obligation versus, it's a privilege.
Ooh.
Right? I'm supposed to wake up. No,
right.
There's a lot of people who didn't wake up.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm supposed to drive this, or I'm supposed to, have a family like this, or I'm supposed to have a roof over my head. Like, no, actually, you could be under the bridge. There's a lot that could be happening. So just thinking of, wow, no, none of it is a must, right?
That's beautiful.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
All a gift.
It's a gift.
This is Move Out the Way with Alicia Lee
and Angelina Rosario. This podcast was created to clear your path
and balance your mind, body, and soul.
We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, honestly.
Ooh,
it's gratitude.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's
gratitude.
A good one. Yes.
I'm wearing a little bracelet here, and it says appreciate. It's my way of reminding myself because I know I struggle with gratitude sometimes. So this whole show is about gratitude. We're going to share some stories. We're going to talk to you about the meaning of gratitude and just how gratitude fits into our everyday lives and our spiritual practice.
That feels right. Yes.
Yes. All right. So we know that gratitude has healing powers, right? There are scientific studies that show that gratitude is healing. It creates better health. So some of the things they say creates more happiness, optimism, new and lasting relationships, fewer aches and pains, better sleep. I mean, the list goes on and on and on when you talk about the benefits of gratitude. But why is it so hard for us to be grateful?
We used to say about that. People are crazy. That's the reason why. No. The reason why we think, I believe, again, everybody has their own opinion. I think it's because it's so normal to feel sad, right? Because there's so many of us are walking around thinking about what's going wrong versus what's going right. So when we are in gratitude, because there's no way that you can be depressed and be in gratitude at the same time, by the way. That is scientifically proven. So when you're in a state of gratitude, you almost feel abnormal. And you're just like, what's wrong with me? I mean, there's like really bad things happening in my life right now, or you feel guilty.
You feel guilty. When everything feels so great, there's this, oh no, something's about to go bad because something's about to go wrong.
Right.
So it has to. There's no way every part of my life can be this great. And I'm great. I'm so grateful, but you're kind of waiting on it to crumble.
Absolutely.
Which is awful.
And to add to that, I would say sometimes you feel guilty if everyone around you is going in a dark space, right?
Absolutely.
And you're the only one seen to be feeling blessed and feel like all this abundance is around you. So you almost feel guilty. So you almost try to find what's wrong with you.
Yes, that's a really good point. And I think we can all relate to being in a situation like that where things in your life are great and you're really happy and you've been so thankful for all of this, but then you look at your friends and your family or just someone around you that's struggling. And I think that's time that I really pray hard for them too.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I know where I am and I'm grateful and I want to continue to help the people around me and bring abundance into their lives. And so I think it's something that I've learned through this entire journey of self-growth is it's not just about me.
Yeah. We're here to be servers.
Yes. And so it's about everyone around us. So I love that you brought that up, Angelina.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because when we started our journey, it was, what are you grateful for? And it was such a hard question. I have meditation classes that I do morning with my sales team. And so, we start our meeting with, what are you grateful for? And they really do have a hard time coming up with what you're grateful for. But when I ask for any prayer requests, anything happening in your life that you need prayer for, there's a laundry of lists that they give me.
Wow.
Right?
But when it comes time to just thinking about what you're grateful for, it's more challenging to think about what you have versus what you want or need.
I think we overcomplicate it because I think we feel like we need to have $1 million in our bank account to feel blessed. Or we need to be hanging with the Joneses to feel blessed. Or we need to be a celebrity to be blessed. And it's just the simplicity of having breath.
Ooh,
right?
Oh, you just gave me
Yes, it's the
You
simplicity of able to
Ooh.
wake up in the morning and open your eyes and see another day that you would never see again.
And that I am grateful for.
Absolutely, same here.
Yes.
It's the simple things that add up to big ones, but if you don't have breath, that probably you're dead. So the fact that you take those little things that actually are big things for granted. So we're confusing what's really important based on society,
Right.
labeled as this is how you know you're blessed.
And that's a great point, because what I've learned in this journey of practicing my gratitude and keeping a gratitude journal is it's so hard to say I'm grateful for things, to even write it down. Like, it takes a while. Like, you sit there, to your point, and you think about it, like, I'm grateful for, well, I'm alive, but isn't that like just life? But no, you need to give gratitude to it. And so when you start with the little things that you're grateful for, I think then you start building up, but the bigger things happen as well. But you have to start with the little things that are right in front of you that seems so obvious, our ability to be able to do this right now.
I
And
think it's because people look at it more as an obligation versus, it's a privilege.
ooh,
Right? I'm supposed to wake up. No,
Right.
There's a lot of people who didn't wake up.
absolutely.
I'm supposed to drive this, or I'm supposed to, have a family like this, or I'm supposed to have a roof over my head. Like, no, actually, you could be under the bridge. There's a lot that could be happening. So just thinking of, wow, no, none of it is a must, right?
That's beautiful.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a
all
gift.
a gift.
It's a gift.
It's all gift. So with that said, Angelina, what are you grateful for?
Oh my goodness, I am so grateful for so many things, but I will start with my health, and I'll tell you why I'm so grateful for my health. Back in 2007, I was diagnosed with a tumor, as you know, and it was the size of a baseball, and it's right here on the right side of my face. So as you can imagine, being a woman who can be vain at times, it was hard for me to take in, and so, but it was very hard for me because the doctors were telling me that I would have to learn how to speak again. Then they would have to cut a bone and a nerve from my right leg, my right hip, and I would have to learn how to walk again. And I am a workout addict. I love working out just for my sanity. It's what gets me going every day. So removing a bone and a nerve, having to learn how to walk again, that means gym, out the door, just walking, getting off the bed, things that we take for granted, our toes, our feet, things that I've never even thought about, that to thank God for, right? So that's where my journey started. It was a 4-year journey, but I wouldn't take anything back, because being in ICU and just having all these tubes in my face and not knowing the outcome of my life moving forward, I just said, I am grateful that I am able to say I am alive. So I started even just there, not knowing that I was, I didn't know what the walking situation was going to be. And so when I got back home, having trouble to get up and having, just showering, I needed help. And just walking to the kitchen was really hard for me. So little simple things that I just took for granted for so many years, it just comes second nature to us because we're blessed to have these things. So I started just being grateful for the little things. If my right leg was screwed up, I'm thankful for my left leg, right? So it was a really hard journey because you don't realize how much you need your legs, how much you need your feet, how much you need your toes, even talking. We don't even thank the universe, God, whatever you believe in, and your voice and your speech and your teeth.
I remember
Right.
this when I couldn't speak to you.
Right.
Yes.
So things that you're just like, what? They had to remove 5 teeth out of my mouth, which it was so hard for me. I mean, everyone is walking around with a mask now, but I had to wear a mask for 4 years. And so I was in this isolated place, but it was there, Alicia, that I learned what gratitude really means. And so I just started thanking God for just, what? I am thankful that I don't have a scar, because they were supposed to cut the right side of my face. And I was just thankful that they didn't cut the right side of my face, because I prayed a lot, and we'll talk about that in another episode, the power of prayer. But I will tell you that it was in that gratitude that I found my happiness, my joy, because that 4-year journey could have been the longest 4-year journey of my life if I was in that negative space. But every time I would wake up in the morning and write 3 things I was extremely grateful for and just work with what I had. Instead of saying, it sucks, I can't work out, they removed a bone, it was so hurtful. I mean, it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt. And not being able to speak or not being able to eat certain things. I was on a liquid diet for 3 weeks and then extended another 3 weeks. So being grateful for food, I am someone that loves to eat. So
she loves
to eat. But when we take it for granted, I couldn't eat a French fry, or I couldn't eat anything. Like, I love toast in the morning. I couldn't eat that. So those things, those experiences taught me that, wow, Angelina, you've been taking so many things for granted. And it's just the little things. So now I wake up, now that I'm able, thank God, I literally can walk again. I obviously can talk again, maybe too much. So the things that I thought were going to be taken away from me, it's what I'm grateful for. I am grateful, Alicia, for life.
Yes.
That I get to wake up every single day, and I would say, regardless of what's happened, I am healthy, I am alive, and I have breath in me. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Whew. Man. That was powerful.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
really emotional right now.
Yeah, that was deep.
Ooh, and I just like banged.
Welcome to our journey. Nothing happens by chance. Well, nothing happens by chance. Because I'm also grateful that I was able to use my pain for a purpose.
Yes.
I turned my pain into a purpose, and I'm definitely grateful for those things.
Ooh, man, that was good. I'm a little emotional now.
I've known to be emotionless, so but this is why she balances.
So that was amazing, and I love that story. And obviously, I was part of that entire journey, and so I think. Hold on, I need to pause.
I can't.
That got to be.
Oh my God! Don't do that to me. I can't cry.
I'm gonna step away from it.
Oh my God, my friend. Oh, Alicia.
Okay, I'm gonna share my part of that story.
Yeah. I think it's good if people see your tears because they didn't see mine.
I know, but there's a lot, so they didn't see mine. They probably won't see yours. You'll probably see a lot of tears from me because I'm a very emotional person. So I know you were going to ask me what I'm grateful for because that was part of the show today. And coming off of that story, I want to share my side of why I'm grateful for you and that journey too. So although that was Angelina's health journey, I was part of it and part of those 4 years. And I remember when she told me about that tumor, and I saw it in her face because I was visiting Miami, and I was very scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's gonna have to undergo this really crazy surgery. And when someone that you love is going through something hard, you want to be strong, but there's also this sense of fear, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And so I remember I wasn't living in Miami when she was doing the surgery, and we went on a trip before. We took a trip to South Africa.
We did.
And went on this whole spiritual journey together, and wanted to make sure that we had this really memorable moment and life experience before her big surgery. You never know the outcome of what's going to happen. And so I spent a lot of time planning out that trip for us.
And by the way, I know you're not done with yourself. I'm just grateful to have a friend that knows how to plan a trip. If you guys ever need insight on any trip, you need to hit up my girl.
So I knew the significance of us going on that trip together and having those memories, and then you going through your health journey, which went on for 4 years with multiple surgeries, and me being in LA. And when you said that you were grateful just to be able to speak and to have these little things, it brought back the memories of when I just wanted to call you and I couldn't. And I just wanted to hear her voice. And it's something I couldn't have because she couldn't speak during her recovery process. And when something so simple is taken away from you and you don't realize it, and for me to have her speaking all the time now, it can be a lot. It can be a lot of times. But I remember the first time she called me and she was able to speak, and I was like, oh, I missed your voice so much. I just missed hearing her voice. You know, there's only so much you can communicate through text message, and then you just want to hear the other person and see them. And so I remember going through all those moments. And so I'm grateful to have gone through that journey and to watch you go through that journey, because it also gave me better appreciation for life and my health and my abilities and all the things that you seemingly lost for a moment in time.
Amen.
I noticed it. And when you weren't able to speak, I felt grateful, like, wow, something as simple as being able to pick up the phone and call someone. Like, I am so grateful for that.
Wow.
And so watching her journey and being part of her journey gave me more gratitude. And I was just grateful that she was going to be okay. And I knew you were. And going through the surgery, and I knew how much you were praying and how much work you were going to put into your therapy. And I never second guessed that you were going to have 100% of a recovery. And we prayed together and we did so many things to get you through this journey. And it helped me just step up my gratitude practice. When you see people around you that you love go through something really painful or lose something, it does make you realize just, wow, I need to be more grateful that I have these things, because it can be taken away from me in the blink of an eye.
Amen.
And so
Amen.
your story is going to help a lot of people. And I'm so happy that you shared the health journey, because it definitely helped me from the outside in, even if you didn't realize or see, and you were posting it and sharing, documenting it on social media. And it really made me realize just, wow, anything can happen, because I've known you for 15 years and you've been healthy all along, and this literally happened overnight. So I don't take any of that for granted. So I'm very grateful to have you here and to have gone through that journey with you. And there's so many other things I'm grateful for, but I don't think we ever have enough time for me to go through my gratitude list, because it is extensive and it's challenging at times to do it, but it definitely does make a difference for sure. And we ended up taking a trip we took a trip to Bali.
Oh my goodness, yes, we
the
did.
End of this year. And to me, that was like a full circle
Celebration.
Yeah. So we were celebrating life.
Yeah, we were.
And her recovery.
Yep.
And doing it together. And all the spiritual things you can imagine in Bali, the shamans, the meditation practices.
The Alicia, once again, planned.
We did it all. And it was our way of celebrating her recovery.
Yep.
And new beginnings. And now we're here, sitting at this table sharing these stories. And so
why you need to be grateful. Thank you for sharing that, Alicia, because I am really trying not to cry. And no, actually, I don't know. I don't cry that easily all the time. So I'm grateful, obviously, to have people like her in my life. But, when you find yourself in a challenging season, instead of saying, why me, say, try me. And be grateful that God has given you the battle. Because I truly believe that the bigger the battle, the bigger the victory.
yes.
So when you're grateful and say, you know what, God, I don't know why these things are happening. It sucks that I have a tumor. It sucks that I have to go through these different procedures. But I trust you. But I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that you trusted me with this battle.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I know I'm going to overcome it. And I'm also grateful that I'm going to be able to share my testimony with someone else. So that to me kept me going. And like I said before, it's really hard to be in gratitude and be depressed at the same time. Right? So when you're just grateful, even when, gratitude is not always about what's going right. Gratitude can always also be about what's going wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So gratitude can also be like, you know what, God, I'm thankful that I don't have the answer for this right now, but I'm grateful that you are going to find it for me.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So it shift your way of thinking, and you open yourself up to receive answers.
Right.
It just depends on
That's
where
powerful.
you are in your walk. And when I mean in your walk, in the season, we don't always have good times. I mean, obviously you just heard my story, but we can use those good times and find the good in those bad times.
Yes.
Yeah.
That-
So
I have nothing to add. Whew, that was great.
yeah, thank you.
So we like to give you some notes or takeaways that you can practice. And gratitude for us, there's a couple practices we do that are very simple. And if you feel compelled to try to work on your gratitude, we hope you give this a try and see how it works for you. But we're going to tell you to start a gratitude journal.
Yep.
And we say we journal like every episode, but I'm telling you, writing things down makes a
It
difference.
does. And that's a complicated. If you're not a writer, we're writers and not professional writers, by the way. We feel better when we write our notes. But if you need to begin somewhere, just stop where you are right now. Pause us if needed.
Yeah.
Okay, just pause us for a few seconds and say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for life.
Yeah.
Thank you for whatever happened throughout the day that you just want to be grateful for. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You could actually do this exercise throughout the day.
Yes.
Right? Didn't you practice? You had something that you mentioned before that you could just say thank you.
Yeah, I just practice saying thankful and that I'm grateful for things all the time. I mean, the smallest thing, like I get an email response from someone that I've been waiting on and it comes into my inbox and I'm like, I am so grateful that this message came through because
Amen.
I was really, really hoping to hear back from this person.
Amen.
And a phone call, just everything and anything. I just am grateful for it. I am.
It's crazy, Alicia, but for me, because I was raised in the projects with absolutely nothing, when I go to the grocery store or I go to Target or anywhere I may shop, under my breath, when I pay for something, I always say, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you that I'm able to afford these items. It can literally be a $2 item to a $1,000 item.
Yes.
I just stop and say thank you, and it's become a lifestyle for me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That literally anything I touch, knowing that I come from nothing, I'm grateful.
Yes.
Right? Because it's a gift and I'm blessed for it. So again, I think people overcomplicate it.
Absolutely. It doesn't need to be that complicated. It's as simple as just starting to say thank you. And when you wake up in the morning and you just say thank you, I'm so grateful for another day. That's it. That's a gratitude practice.
That's it. You have to start somewhere and allow yourself to be guided. I always say there's a lot of great teachers, and if we're becoming your teacher, just let it be known that there is no one way of doing things right?
And just be sincere with it. Don't just say it for saying it.
Yes.
Really, truly feel it and be sincere and learn to feel gratitude, because I think there's a certain level of vulnerability that it takes to be grateful and to say thank you and to give grace to other people. So start to learn to feel it for yourself. And when you can accept it, it's easier to also give gratitude to other people.
Nicely said. Yeah, there's nothing to that there. That was good.
So we're going to close out with a quote for this week, and it's by the late, great Wayne Dyer. He's amazing. And so, the universe provides abundantly when you're in a state of gratitude.
Amen. Let's receive that.
Yes.
That was really, really great. Can you read that one more time?
Yes.
That was
so, the universe provides abundantly when you're in a state of gratitude.
Yes.
Yes, I received that.
I received that. Let's receive that for the week. How about that?
Yes.
Right? And so
Absolutely.
Don't forget to do your exercises. It's when you apply these exercises is when you start seeing the shift.
Create a practice.
Yes.
Just create a practice. Just like you tune into us every week, right? You tune into us every week and you go down this journey with us. And so we're sending you lots of love and light, and may your week be filled with so much gratitude.
Yes. Yes. And we'll see you next week. Mwah.